Hey, what's up everybody? PrimusPrime22 here, bringing you a new video. In preparation for Transformers The Last Night, I have prepared a brief overview of the timeline of the movies. To my longtime viewers, this video is intended for a more casual audience. As a result, some of the facts given here aren't exactly correct because of supplementary material that involve the multiverse and all that. These oversimplifications will pretty much be concentrated in the beginning of the timeline. If you're a casual fan of the Transformers that wants to learn more about the intricacies of Transformers lore, then why not check out my series detailing the lore of the Transformers Lore. A playlist to the complete series in rough chronological order can be found in the description. So, let's begin to take a look at this timeline and how the Transformers and humans have made contact with each other in the past, so we have more background on the timeline before we learn the, quote,
secret history of Transformers,
before we go to theaters for the newest installment of the franchise. 65 million years ago, an alien species arrives on Earth and uses devices called seeds to cause an extinction event, killing the dinosaurs by converting their organic matter with a metal that would be dubbed transformium. The metal is harvested and brought to Cybertron. Together with the Allspark Cube, these mysterious creators create the Transformers. The Transformers are initially led by the 7 Primes. Really there are 13, but the movies kinda gloss over that. They harness the energies of suns with solar harvesters to create Energon, their lifeblood. These devices are activated by a key called the Matrix of Leadership. The Dynasty of Primes decides that no sun will be destroyed if it supports life. In 17,000 BCE, however, one of the Primes disobeys this rule and builds a solar harvester on Earth. Because of his betrayal, he is dubbed the Fallen. A great battle takes place over the possession of the Matrix. The Fallen is defeated and the Dynasty of Primes create a tomb out of their bodies to hide the Matrix, creating the Tomb of the Primes. A group of Decepticons that follow the Fallen, called the Seekers, search for the tomb to no avail. At some point, Optimus Prime, a descendant of the Dynasty of Primes, explores the universe alongside the Cybertronian Knights that include the Dinobots. Much later, Cybertron is led by Optimus Prime and Megatron, a pupil of the Fallen. However, Megatron and his Decepticons decide to fight over possession of the Allspark Cube to create an army to conquer the universe. Sentinel Prime assumes leadership of the Autobots alongside his pupil Optimus. Sentinel Prime becomes upset over Optimus' inability to make difficult decisions and makes a deal with Megatron. They plan to use Sentinel Prime's invention called the Pillars to create a space bridge so that they can go to Earth and use the bridges to transport Cybertron to Earth and to use the humans as a slave labor force to help rebuild Cybertron. Sentinel Prime sets out on the spacecraft called the Ark but is shot down by Decepticon forces. The Ark flies aimlessly through space. Bumblebee has his vocal processors damaged in battle at some point during the war. Around 10,000 BCE, as the war continues, the Autobots launch the Allspark Cube into space in an effort to keep it out of Decepticon hands. It lands in the Colorado River on Earth. Megatron leaves Cybertron in search of the Allspark Cube, and Starscream assumes field leadership of the Decepticons. They depart on a ship called the Nemesis with the Fallen, in search of Megatron and the Allspark Cube. The Nemesis also supports a large population of hatchlings, who require Energon to survive. Optimus Prime and the Autobots also go out in search of the cube. Thousands of years ago, Megatron arrives on Earth, but the magnetism of Earth's North Pole throws off his navigation, and he crashes in the ice and freezes. Around 2560 BCE, humans build the Great Pyramid of Giza over the solar harvester. In 12,000 BCE, the Tomb of the Primes is hidden under Ad-Dir in the city of Petra. A riddle is created to remember the location of the tomb. When dawn alights the dagger's tip, 3 kings will reveal the doorway. In 1897, Captain Archibald Witwicky leads the National Arctic Circle Expedition. He accidentally discovers Megatron and activates his navigation system, causing Megatron to engrave a map to the Allspark onto his glasses and driving Captain Witwicky insane. In 1913, the Allspark Cube is discovered in the Colorado River. Construction begins around the cube to protect it from any alien arrivals. In 1927, President Herbert Hoover officially establishes Sector 7 with the purpose of dealing with anything extraterrestrial. In 1935, construction finishes on the Hoover Dam to house the Allspark Cube, and Megatron, dubbed NBE-1, is moved to the dam for further research. In 1959, the Soviet Union's Luna 3 probe takes a picture of the dark side of the moon and finds nothing there. In 1960, both Ron Witwicky and Judy Taylor are born. Ron Witwicky is the great-grandson of Captain Archibald Witwicky. In 1961, the Ark crash lands on Earth's moon. The United States detects the crash and launches the space race. At some point, Decepticons arrive at Earth's moon and begin to excavate the pillars from the debris. In 1963, the Soviet Union's Luna 4 probe takes a picture of the dark side of the moon and finds the Ark and the excavation project of the pillars. On July 16, 1969, the United States manned mission to the moon, Apollo 11, lands. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin discover the Ark. In November 1969, a second American moon landing takes place to work on the excavation and research of the Ark. 3 more missions will be executed by the Americans to excavate the Ark until 1973. Soundwave and the Decepticons wish to keep their presence secret, and Soundwave works on ensuring that these manned missions cease. The Decepticons seek out humans who have the power or influence to end the moon missions, including the NASA accountant known as Gould, who, through Decepticon influence, makes it financially impossible for the moon missions to continue. The Decepticons also force the Soviets to stop their moon missions. In 1983, it's around the time that Cade Yeager was born. In 1986, a Soviet probe goes to the moon despite the Decepticons' ban of humanity going to the moon. The probe retrieves a fuel cell from the engine of the Ark. The cell is researched and experimented on, causing a nuclear accident at Chernobyl. On September 13, 1991, Sam Witwicky, the great-great-grandson of Archibald Witwicky, is born. In 1998, this is around the time that Shane Dyson is born. In 2001, it is around the time that Tessa Yeager is born. Being with her causes her mother and father, Cade and Emily, to miss their graduation. Though Emily eventually dies, Cade promises that their daughter will make it to her graduation. In 2003, the Beagle 2 rover lands on Mars. However, at this point, the Decepticons on the Nemesis are closer to finding the Allspark and destroy the device after finding it while they are on Mars. 2007. At this point, the Decepticons under Starscream have arrived on Earth, as has Bumblebee, scouting the planet for the Autobots. The Decepticons attack a US military base in Qatar to look for information on the Allspark, while Bumblebee learns of the map on Archibald Witwicky's glasses that is owned by Sam after he posts the glasses on eBay. Bumblebee makes sure that he becomes Sam's car. The Decepticons learn of the map as well and begin to chase Witwicky, causing Bumblebee to call his unit under the command of Optimus Prime. Sector 7 tries to capture the Autobots, and Bumblebee is captured with Sam and his classmate Michaela Baines. They are taken to the Hoover Dam, where a Decepticon attack reactivates Megatron. This ultimately results in the Battle of Mission City, where Sam uses the Allspark Cube to kill Megatron. Following Mission City, Starscream returns to the Nemesis to look after the hatchlings, and assumes field leadership of the Decepticons once again. The Autobots decide to stay on Earth, and Bumblebee is allowed to stay as Sam's guardian. Optimus Prime sends message to space for other Autobots to come to Earth. Sector 7 is disbanded by the President. In need of more Energon, the Decepticons keep a close eye on Sam Witwicky in case he has any more connection with a source of Energon. Wheelie is deployed to keep an eye on his house, and the Pretender Alice is sent to his university before his arrival. New Autobot forces arrive on Earth on the Xantium. While some of the Autobots join Prime's forces, the Wreckers are forced to stay with the ship under the supervision of NASA to keep the Xantium in order. NEST is established as a global alliance between human armed forces and the Autobots. Together, NEST manages to launch anti-Decepticon operations across the globe. 2009. Desperate for Energon, the Decepticons launch missions to retrieve one of the last shards of the Allspark Cube, to revive Megatron. Megatron reassumes leadership of the Decepticons, and the Fallen informs Megatron of another source of Energon on the planet, with the path to the source being within Sam's head following his contact with a sliver of the Allspark. Megatron kills Optimus Prime, and the Fallen launches an attack on Earth, and publicly demands Sam to be handed over. Sam works together with his friends, including Agent Simmons, of the now-defunct Sector 7, to find a seeker named Jetfire, who they revive with a piece of the Allspark Cube. Jetfire takes them to Egypt in search of the Matrix of Leadership to revive Optimus Prime. With the Matrix in play, the Battle of Giza takes place, where Optimus Prime is revived and the Fallen is killed. Megatron orders a retreat. Following Egypt, Michaela Baines leaves Sam, and Sam starts a new relationship with Carly Spencer, an assistant for the British Embassy. Seymour Simmons writes a book about his experiences and becomes extremely wealthy. Charlotte Meering becomes the director of NEST and makes Bumblebee live with the Autobots instead of Sam. A network of Energon detectors are placed throughout Earth. The Decepticon High Command flees to Namibia, while Decepticon forces gather under the surface of the moon in preparation for Megatron's next strike. Because of the lack of Decepticon activity, the Autobots begin to assist NEST in human disputes between nations. 2013. The Decepticons allow the Autobots to learn about the Ark. They bring Sentinel Prime to Earth, and Optimus revives Sentinel with the Matrix of Leadership. However, Sentinel Prime was really needed by the Decepticons to activate the space bridge, and Sentinel turns against the Autobots and joins Megatron for an invasion of Earth. Autobots and Decepticons fight a major battle in Chicago that sees many casualties from both the Cybertronians and the humans. Part of Cybertron is transported into Earth's atmosphere, but the planet collapses after Sam turns off the last pillar by shoving Dylan Gould, the son of the NASA Decepticon collaborator, into it. Optimus Prime kills both Megatron and Sentinel Prime. After the Battle of Chicago, humanity turns against the Transformers. The CIA faction Cemetery Wind, under the command of Harold Attinger, begins to hunt down the Transformers, both Autobot and Decepticon. They successfully wipe out a large amount of Transformers. Joshua Joyce's technology company KSI helps support Cemetery Wind. KSI mines the Transformium from Transformer bodies in Chicago to develop their own Cybertronian-based weapons to help Cemetery Wind. Lockdown, a Cybertronian bounty hunter, is hired by the creators to capture Optimus Prime and to bring him to them. He arrives on Earth and makes a deal with Attinger. In return for Optimus Prime, Attinger will receive a seed. Attinger then plans on giving Joyce the seed in return for 50 million shares of KSI, and Joyce can then use the seed to detonate in the Mongolian desert to mine for more Transformium. At some point, KSI begins working on a drone called Galvatron to oppose Optimus Prime, but they create him based off of technology from Megatron's severed head. Megatron is still conscious and manages to infect Galvatron, putting his mind within him. 2016 is around the time that Tessa Yeager and Shane Dyson date for a while when Tessa is a sophomore and Shane is a senior. 2018, a wounded Optimus Prime ends up in the hand of the inventor Cade Yeager. Cemetery Went pursues Yeager and Prime, who eventually learn of KSI's mining of Transformers bodies. Enraged, Prime and other Autobots storm the KSI building, but then leave when Joyce tells Optimus that humanity doesn't need them anymore. As the Autobots leave, they fight Galvatron and the other KSI drone, Stinger, though Galvatron disobeys commands given to him from KSI. Lockdown captures Optimus Prime while fighting Galvatron, leading to the Autobots rescuing him from Lockdown's vessel, a commandeered night ship. Unfortunately, their battle takes place in the skies of Chicago. Though Optimus is rescued by the Autobots, Lockdown doesn't realize until it's too late, and delivers the seed to Attinger, who, in turn, gives it to Joyce. As KSI moves over to Hong Kong en route to the Mongolian desert, Galvatron makes his move to use the seed to destroy humanity, using his mental link to KSI's drones to turn KSI's armament against themselves. The Autobots intervene in the Battle of Hong Kong, which sees Optimus kill Lockdown, who return to capture him again. Optimus discovers the Dinobots who are imprisoned on board the Lockdown ship, and with their assistance, they defeat Galvatron's drones, and Optimus Prime takes the seed and goes out into space in search of his creators, while Galvatron leaves and lives to fight another day. So that's where we are so far with this timeline. Again, much of it was oversimplified, so make sure to check out Transformers lore for more details, and subscribe to the channel when new videos are made. As you can see, the timeline definitely has its holes, like the Decepticons being on the moon in the 60s, but only approaching Earth in 2003 when they're on Mars. These holes were fixed by the Expanded Universe comics and books, but The Last Knight is moving forward and ignoring this material. For more information on how Transformers movie continuity is changing, go check out that video I've made. That wraps up this video for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Follow me on social media for updates on the channel, and have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.